Okay, Shuto Uke. Again, Shuto Uke is, we call it an X block. It's when thrown low, it's like that. As you throw it, it will come from the belt driving forward. You want to make sure, a common error is people throw it out and pull back. We're driving into, if you're having to use two hands, and I'm not saying that you're always doing that in kata, you may just be practicing two blocks at once, but if you're using two hands, you're probably driving against a kick, okay, or again, an inanimate object. So you want to drive straight against that force because there's a lot of it coming at you. For a high Shuto Uke, when you're doing it low, the hands are always closed. When you're doing it high, the hands are open. Either way you throw it, the inside of your right arm is on the outside of your left arm. Until you get on up in rank quite a ways, you'll never do it like this. Okay, so for now, just think that it's always like this. Closed when down, open when up. Both times you want to cross mid-forearm. You do not want to meet that kick or that club with your small hand bones, fingers, wrists. You got to use your arm muscles. In actual practice, you would rotate slightly so that you're using the muscle side of the arm and not the naked bones on the side or top. Same thing low. Probably rotate slightly out like that. Do not do that for kata. It's not pretty. The kake uke. There's a couple different ways to throw it. The way we normally throw it in our kata is when we're throwing an open hand block, that's the other hand. So as I do this, we kind of don't acknowledge the backhand too much, but this is a block. Rotate right as you do it. You're using the angle of this thumb part here as a ramp. If I, even without the rotation, if I was drawing this hand back against my hand, it would guide it to the side. And it has the same effect on an incoming punch. But it can also, you can put a little bit of juice on it, and of course we don't want to overdo it in kata, but in practice, you don't have to just turn it over, but you can use that. It can also be thrown, we don't do it either, I'll give you an exception in a second, like that also. You could possibly look at Pinan Yondan as a block there also. It's not as close as the Shuto, but you could do that. Don't do it in class. Okay, similar, it's thrown similar to the Uke, and at the pretty much the same time, it's also done in Pinan Yondan several times, is the Shuto. That's ox jaw. I don't know why it's called an ox jaw. I don't know what ox jaw really looks like. But ox jaw block. You'll recognize this from the Karate Kid. It's part of painting a fence. You're hitting with the bone. It sounds like a bad idea, but it does not hurt. You're attacking, as we did with the Uke, to the top of the hand probably. It's the best target for that. And it's just a rock back. As we throw it in kata, in Pinan Yondan, it's similar again to the moves that we did with the Uke. The arms move exactly the same way. This arm we throw angled out. The one I'm not talking about, this one is not the Shuto. It is actually an open-handed, open-thumbed, I should say, open hand block at an angle. This one is dropping straight down. As you throw it in the kata, it should go over and down. I almost feel like this hand is a river going over a cliff in like a waterfall. soon as it clears that arm, it drops straight down. Shuto. Untitled Uke is not one we talk about a lot. It's one we do quite often. The Untitled Uke, Untitled is back fist block. Untitled Uke, back fist block. So this is used in Pinan Yondan for the first time, and that's it. It is a knuckle wrap. Usually you'd probably be taking an offending limb coming at you and just you want to really get just out of the way enough that it's not going to hit you. You're not trying to stop. You're not even redirecting. It's more of an attack on the back of their hand. And it's very effective. It's used, you'll recognize it there. We do it several times in Pinan Yondan. As I'm transitioning from one to the other, the hands work like that again so that you've got opposing directions as you throw this block. Untitled Uke. Tetsu Uke is the hammer fist block. We do it at, well, it can be done at varying degrees. We do a full range hammer fist block. What that means is we're actually looking at it as two blocks in one. So for the opening of Pinan Nidan, picture a punch coming at my head here and then to my midsection here. I would block, block. It is a circular block like that. You want to end with the arm parallel to the floor. You're hitting with the arm. We call it a hammer fist. You do not want to hit with the fist. It's an arm block. Tetsu Uke. An open hand block prepares palm toward opposite cheek. You want the arm straight up and down at this point, and it will move around, pivoting from the shoulder. It's a whole arm block as opposed, people try to throw it very often as they do kind of like a middle block. And I call this a howdy. You're blocking with the shoulder and all on this block, so you don't want it to do that. You'll notice this hand, again, push, pulling. Let me do that from the side. It does end up straight up and down. High block, Jodan Uke, prepares, it's going to look in the beginning similar to Geidan Uke, but it's going to be slightly higher. You're going to put it up and very close to your cheek, palm toward cheek. You want to throw the block going straight up. It moves in a fashion very similar to a punch. I've got a punch, punch. It's just punch going up pretty much. You want to finish the block still covering your head. You won't allow it to go straight. The wrist should be even with the far side of your head. The arm should be against your head as much as possible so that you can give that as much angle as you can. The block is, we use it in practice just so we can practice because we're not going to beat each other in the head with clubs, but we use it in the kisos and for punches coming to our chin. It's actually best designed for something coming down on your head, such as a club, whatever, somebody's trying to hit you on the head. They don't do it with their empty hand though. So it's going to be something hitting hard. You use the angle of the arm and the rotation to let it slide off and roll to that side. It's important that you keep it close. If you're transitioning from one high block to the other, you want the blocking hand that's preparing to go inside of the hand that was already up. What was that? What I mean? All right, Soto Uke is the middle level block. It starts palm down, cross your chest, moves upward in a windshield typer wiping fashion. The hand rotates so that it's facing palm toward you at the end of the block. Again, I have push-pull with my block. This block should finish with the knuckles above your eyebrows so that you've covered the crucial facial area that gets cut and bruised and makes such a great target in a self-defense situation. Soto Uke. As I demonstrate the blocks, I'm going to do so from a Zenkutsudachi front stance. For a low block, Geidan Uke, sometimes called Geidan Barai, you will prepare your blocking hand, and this is at the most basic level. You'll prepare your blocking hand across your body and let it fall down, twisting on the very end, palm towards your leg. You'll notice that my hand and arm have gone just to the outside of my leg. That should clear anything to the side of me. As I do that, there is a push-pull as there is with a punch for the blocking hand and the hikite hand. Hikite is pulling hand.